Alright, hey guys. So this is Jules. This is one of my first Let's Plays, and I'm kind of just doing it for fun. What I really want to do is do a full walkthrough of Breath of the Wild hard mode once it comes out, but I may as well start with a playthrough of the regular game. I haven't found too many girl Let's Players for this game specifically, so what I want to do is play through it, and hopefully it's a little more fun to watch because I kind of already know what I'm doing. Don't have to scream at me in the comments because I missed a chest. I know how to fight. I kind of know where I'm going. But I'm going to try and keep it spoiler free for anyone who hasn't played the game yet. But hopefully because I have, it becomes a little more streamlined. That said, I do want to read out the commentary still. Just for people that enjoy that. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and we'll see how this goes.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
So as per tradition, the game starts with Link waking up. But his slumber this time was a little longer, perhaps, than previous games. As we find out. I wouldn't really want to wake up in the morning and be dripping wet, but that's just me. So there's only one thing to do in this room, and that is get a feel for the controls of the game and go right over to the Sheikah slate here. So in this game we can jump and we can interact. And this is Link's iPhone.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
So she kind of gives you a hint right there that you've been asleep for a long time. It was not like you went to bed one night and then woke up here and don't know who you are. It's like you were out for a little while. So we've never seen this device before, and yet there's something familiar about it. And then the door opens. And this is probably one of my favorite parts of the game. Just the beginning when you're getting a feel for everything. Link is also an idiot, and if you don't go to the chest from the very front and you go to the side instead, he will kick it. And then it'll hurt his foot. Because he's kicking it with bare feet. Then if you go to the chest over here, and if you're crouching and you open it, he'll punch it, and then it hurts his hand. Because it's a giant metal chest, and he just tried to punch it. That's our hero.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal. That will show you the way.
So this is a mechanic that's going to be used in the game a lot. Hold your slate up to the pedestal does stuff. And there you go. One thing I'm not sure of in this game is what this sound is when the Sheikah slate is doing things. Like, is it a voice that says authenticating? Or is it just the sound? Because it kind of sounds Skyward Sword-ish, but it's hard to pinpoint. Like, can Link understand it, or is it just us that sees it as a player? God, those clothes are so bad on Link. Like, you can see his,
Link, You are the
pelvic
light,
bones. It's bad.
our light, that must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Alright, off we go in our short pants and our short top. Guided by a mysterious voice. And here's probably the best part in the game. Maybe not the best part, but it sets the tone really well for the entire rest of the game. So we've gotten a good look at Hyrule, and there's some sort of old man down there. We know who he is, some of us, but no need to spoil it. So I did test this out earlier, but as some of you might know, there is a Korok, or Nut Boy, down back in the Shrine of Restoration. However, you can't get it right now. I went and tried in another new file of mine to get it right away, and he's not there yet. So there must be something that kind of like, I don't know what the word for it is, unlocks his being there. I know there are Koroks on the Great Plateau that you can find. The first one I found was by the shrine with the guardians. And I like picked up a rock and he was there, you know, like, yeah, haha, you found me. And I just immediately dropped the rock back onto his like face. And he just made this like, oh, sound, and I felt really bad. Sort of like when you step on a pet or something, you know? It was that sort of guilt. So here's the old man. Stole his apple. Alright, so it is a bit strange to see another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. I'm just an old fool who has lived here alone for quite some time now. What brings a bright-eyed young man like you to a place like this? And Link is gonna say, where are we? Answering a question with a question, that is fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. And then he gets up. And we get a good look at where we are. Temple of Time being the first thing we see. That temple there, long ago, it was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it has sat abandoned in a state of decay. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. This is kind of like dramatic irony, if you already know what's going on here. So he trails off then, he stops talking. Link is like, alright, cool, we're gonna go walk around. We can take his stuff. And he doesn't care. Grab some apples. And then we're gonna go start our first battle. Should be just up here. Well, this guy doesn't give us any sort of good weapon. I would almost say that he's a waste to fight. Because all you get is a Bokoblin horn, but at least he's a relatively easy enemy to start out with. So Zelda's gonna pop in here soon. Tell us where we need to go. And later, we're gonna go down and hunt one of those guys. And I'll explain why once we get there. First things first.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
So, there's our mini map. We have that in the bottom of the screen. If we look at the map, we have none of Hyrule unlocked. But where we need to go is not far away. But we can make a quick detour here. It's a really good kind of introduction to the game's features, I guess, in this Great Plateau area. But it is mimics later on in the game too, so it's not like it's just here, which is good. So we stole this guy's club from him, and we're gonna use that to beat him. And then we're gonna grab this butterfly, some monster parts, and there's two guys up here with arrows that we want to fight, because they're gonna give us bows and arrows, which we can pick up from the ground as they fire them at us. So they don't have the best aim, as you can see. I'm pretty sure even if I was standing still, they might not hit me, but oh, just kidding. Not really willing to give that a shot. So that's probably good for now. Oops. And done. So now that we have a bow, it's a lot easier to take out enemies from far away. And if you hit them just right, like in the face, that happens. For most of these red bokoblins, it's a one-hit kill. That's obviously going to change once we get the hard mode in-game, and all of these red bokoblins will suddenly be blue bokoblins. I don't even know what the silver ones are going to turn into. I don't want to worry about that right now. So here's our Sheikah Tower. Of course, when you first play the game, you don't know what this is, so it's kind of funny when you first activate it here. So Link is like, oh, what the heck is this? How do I use this thing? What's this newfangled technology? But he gets it to work. And then we have this funny voice talking to us again. And it says Sheikah Tower activated. So again, Link here doesn't know that this is a tower. So like when I was first playing, I was like, what tower? And it tells you to watch for falling rocks. I thought you'd have to like actually dodge them and stuff, but our boys just got some good luck here. And then we have a pretty fun cutscene. Okay. So, there's our map. This is one of the smallest regions in the entire game, but when you first start playing, it honestly feels massive. It's so hard to comprehend that there's so much extra space besides just this. another cutscene here.
Try to remember. You have been asleep for the past 100 years. The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end.
There's our buddy. There's Ganon. Calamity Ganon, as he's called in this game.
Now then, you must hurry, Link. Before it's too late.
Just a little bit of Zelda's Lullaby there at the end. A lot of the original songs come in like that in little piano riffs or little features in the songs in this game. So when I first played and I tried to get down this tower, I immediately died. I fell off like twice. And it was embarrassing, to say the least.
Ho!
It's almost as though a long dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. If you do not mind me asking, did anything odd occur while you were atop that tower? I heard a voice. Well, now a voice, you say? And did you happen to recognize this mysterious voice? We're gonna say no. I see. Well, that is unfortunate. I assume you caught sight of that atrocity enshrouding the castle. That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, that vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. For a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has managed to contain that evil, but just barely. There it festers, building its strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching.
Oh.
I must ask you, courageous one, do you intend to make your way to the castle? I do. I had a feeling you would say that. Here on this isolated plateau, we are surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. If you were to try to jump off, well, no death could be more certain, or more foolish. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. Paraglider? Oh, piqued your interest, have I? Yes, I didn't come soaring down here on my own feathery wings, you know. I did know. Worry not, I will happily agree to give you my paraglider, but not for nothing. Let's see now, how about I trade it for a bit of treasure that slumbers nearby? Come, let me show you something. So, what he's going to show us is this shrine. That is Omanao, our first shrine. So we'll see what he says here. See that structure there, the one shining with a strange light? It began glowing at the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I would think such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Treasure for the paraglider. A fair exchange, I believe. Okay. So we're gonna go straight for that. Actually, we can grab some fish here first. Because we're gonna want it later in the game when we have to make our spicy meat and seafood fry. And I'll show you why if you don't already know in a little bit. We're also going to grab some frogs that are down here because they'll help us move a little bit faster once we want to make elixirs with them. There should be some down here. There's fish. Actually, we'd better take out this group of enemies first. We can get some good stuff from these guys. We're a little more equipped now to take them down, too. this guy's gonna turn, I think. There we go. Take him out in one shot so that he doesn't alert his buddies over there. Steal his bow and arrows. And one's down already. Alright. Here is our Hyrule Bass. We're gonna need some meat later on, but we won't worry about it right now. What we can do is cook some apples. So, for simmered fruit, you get however many hearts back, depending on how much you put in of each thing. Mushroom skewers gives you more. And then we can use the bladed rhino beetle, whoops, to make an elixir. What you don't want to do is mix different effects. So the bladed rhino beetle and a sunwing butterfly wouldn't make anything, I don't think. I think it would fail. And you know when it fails because it gives you this like kind of music where it's like, oh, you fucked up. So we're gonna make our way around to the shrine. It's kind of a close call swimming through here, since we only have one stamina wheel, so I'm just gonna take the long way around. There's fish in here too, and there's some frogs, but I don't actually know where they went now, so I guess I'll find them later on. Here's our shrine. This is gonna give us our first rune. I don't think you get anything from cutting the grass yet. Now, as you can see in here, a bit of a clue, there's two chests. One close and one a little further away that we can't do anything with until we complete this. So, let's give it a go. I'm going to be skipping most of these little cutscenes. They take a lot of time. And there's just no real reason to kind of just sit and wait for it to show you the doors opening. And the loading screens in this game are decently fast as well. Unfortunately, it does do a loading screen every time you fast travel. Also, these cutscenes here, every time you get a new rune, you can't skip this. You have to just wait for it to authenticate, distill the rune, drop it into your slate, etc. But it's kind of a cool mechanic anyway. So here we go. We have our first rune, which is Magnesis. We can grab onto metallic objects using the magnetic energy that pours forth from the Magnesis rune. Objects held in the magnetic snare can be lifted up and moved freely. And it tells us how to use it. So here we go. Now we'll just toss this to the side. Drop down. And off we go. So yeah, if you haven't played the game yet, 120 of these shrines. Some are longer than others. Whoops. Some require quests of sorts for you to even get the shrines. But those ones, of course, sometimes then too don't make you go through puzzles after that. They just kind of like let you do your thing and they just give you their blessing or whatever right away. Oh my god, I killed myself. This fucking game, honestly. So we'll continue from the last save. I've done this shrine like 5 times now, just in like new game kind of things where I'm playing around with the beginning. Oh my god, it's gonna make me... Okay, good, I don't have to do that all over again. Okay, we'll be a little more careful this time. I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention. I guess we can just use this one. Pull it out, push it, and then what we can do I just kill this thing with it. There we go. So yeah, so I didn't really do much with Magnesis when I first played. As in, I didn't really use it to kill enemies when I first played. I was kind of like, I'd rather just kill them with like my sword. I didn't really know how reliable it was. But in some cases it's fun. So... I actually... Oh, right, we don't use this to get the chest. We just grab it like this. Doy. So, some chests you can grab with Magnesis, and some you can't. And that's on purpose, because in some of those shrines, they don't want you to, you know, cheat your way through them. Of course, people have found all sorts of ways to do that anyway. So here we go. Link is like, oh, the fuck is this? And we have our first monk. You've proven to possess the resolve of a true hero. I am Omanao, the creator of this trial. I am a humble monk, blessed with the sight of the goddess Hylia, and dedicated to helping those who seek to defeat Ganon. With your arrival, my duty is now fulfilled. In the name of the goddess Hylia, allow me to bestow this gift upon you. Please accept the spirit orb. I just realized I totally said bestow instead of bestow. So just ignore that. Again, I'm new with Let's Plays. Like, I've watched some, mainly like Achievement Hunter, but I've never recorded my own. So this is gonna hopefully get more polished as we go, and part of the reason I'm doing this before the DLC comes out is so that I can learn what I need to improve before I play the hard mode. Because I'm hoping to have it right away, and then record right away, because I have the time for it. So here we go, here's our first spirit orb out of 120, a symbol of courage given to those who have overcome the challenges of a shrine. And they show up in your inventory. He tells us, may the goddess smile upon you, and then he disappears into what I think is best described as cosmic dust. And he won't return. We can come back to this shrine as many times as we like. We'll have to go through all the movements again, move all the doors. The enemies might be dead unless there's a blood moon, but the monk will not be there anymore. He has done his job.
Ho!
Get ready. Oh yeah, there he is. Ho! Like, where did he even paralight from? Like, way over there? It seems you managed to get your hands on a spirit orb. Well done. How did you know? Clairvoyance! Oh, or perhaps just something similar. Yeah, he's a freak. As one gets older, it can become more difficult to see what is right before one's own eyes. However, that which was once hidden from view can often be crystal clear, but perhaps that is not true for everyone. Oh ho ho. Yeah. Fortune cookie bullshit. The appearance of those towers and the awakening of the shrine is all connected to that Sheikah slate you carry on your hip there. What do you mean? It has been quite some time since I have seen that Sheikah slate. Long ago, a highly advanced tribe known as the Sheikah inhabited these lands. The great power of their wisdom saved this kingdom time and time again. But their ancient technology disappeared long ago, or so it is said. It is interesting, however, to think how something like that survived all this time, hidden away in a shrine. Well, Link did. These shrines are tucked away in numerous places all across this land. On this plateau alone, I believe there are still 3 more. Bring me the treasure from each of those shrines, and I will give you my paraglider. So I need more now. I said treasure, but I never said there would only be 1 treasure. Whether it's 1 treasure or 4, what's the difference for a young go-getter like yourself? He knows us too well. Since I'm feeling generous, I will also teach you a trick for finding shrines. It's always best to survey the area by looking around from a high point. Let's see here. How about you make your way to the top of that tower again? Are you joking? Oh ho ho. I'm afraid not, but do not worry. I have another little trick to share with you for your effort. Take a look at the map on your Sheikah slate.
Oh.
See those blue icons? You should recognize the cave where you woke, the shrine you came from, and the tower. You can travel instantly to any of those places with a Sheikah Slate. Or so I heard quite some time ago. I do not know if it actually works as such. Alright, so this mysterious fucker wants us to go all the way back to that tower again. So when I played this the first time, I got super distracted because I immediately came over, got these chests, and kind of just did some exploring. And then by the time I had to go back up to the tower, I completely forgot that I could insta-travel there. So I climbed the whole thing. And then he kind of berated me. He was like, what, did you already forget, like, what I told you? I told you you could just travel there. After I'd spent all this time climbing the stupid thing. So we got some amber, we got some opal, we can use these later in the game to sell for more rupees, or we can use them for upgrades. Oh shit. People will ask for them in quests, etc. So I don't know if this is the best way to break these, but I'd rather not waste my weapons, so I'd drop them on top of each other. Obviously it's not working this time, so we'll just leave that. What we are going to do now is find our first Korok, and he is just over here. And then we'll get ourselves some boar meat. So there's a lot of these little logs around the game with chains in them, usually attached to a rock that, for whatever reason, we can pick up and move around. Yeah, haha! Yeah, you get really used to that sound. So he says, you're not Hestu, but you can see me. I don't know your kind could see the children of the forest. Well, if you run into Hestu, please return this to him. And he gives us a seed. It has a distinct smell. If we gather a bunch of them, you never know what may happen. Oh, and my friends are hiding in lots of different places too. Don't be shy about poking your nose into suspicious places. Oh, I won't be. So once you get a Korok, they stay here. So you can see that you've already gotten him. And if you go to the map and you zoom in, a little seed shows up. So if you do decide to actually hunt them all down, you can see where you've already found them and where you haven't. Which is obviously a big help for the completionists of the world. So we're gonna wander into the forest now to try and find a boar. They are pretty easily spooked. So we're gonna have to be a little bit careful here. So there's a fire here as well. That you can sit by it if you want to. Or we can use it to light that grass on fire. Or I'll just fuck it up completely. Let's go to. There we go. So this is gonna light. Burns everything except this rock. We pick it up and we find another Korok. So there's another example of where you're gonna find them, and just a couple that are here within the Great Plateau. Acorns I haven't found like much use for in the game. Like I thought they were gonna be a little bit more important, and they really haven't been. I guess unless you care about adding in flavors with no effects. Maybe I'm missing a recipe or something. So here's our meat. I don't know if the spicy meat and seafood fry works with bird drumsticks. I haven't tried it, but we can test that later. So for now, we're gonna go to the Temple of Time. It's on the way to the next shrine. There's a couple things we can find here that'll be pretty useful. Oh my god, I'm so not used to only having one stamina wheel. And a couple enemies for us to fight here. As you can see. They're not that difficult to take out. I can find what I was looking for. Not here. Oh, that doesn't work. Just damage that club needlessly. Up we go. So there's the Temple of Time. Here's what we wanted. And there we go. So he's guarding this chest, and for good reason. It holds pants that will actually fit us. And they're part of a set, which we will be finishing up later on in the game. Once we get to the first town, I guess. So there's a chest at the top of the Temple of Time. I don't feel like going for it right now because we're going to end up there later. And it's kind of nice to not have that weapon already damaged by the time you're leaving the plateau. Like, why not hang on to it? Save it for later. We can get by just fine with traveler swords and bows in the meantime. There's a statue of Hylia in the temple that we can pray to, but we can't pray to her yet. So, the first thing is first, and that's the shrine right over here. Keep thinking I have a paraglider. I could jump and sail down here, but I don't. So down we go. There's some enemy camps down there, but we won't bother with them right now. How many shields do we have? We just have the one, so that's not great. I would have liked to have parried guardians here, but I can't guarantee that I'll be able to get it on the first try. So that's fine. We'll just run from them and go straight to the shrine. When I first played this, I didn't know that you could climb these walls. So I have to say I felt like an idiot because it took me literally so long just to get to this shrine, and it didn't have to. As I'll show you after. So the guardian there wakes up. And you can get him to take out the wall for you if you want. But it's really not necessary. Ouch. Because we can just climb the wall around it. I'm actually kind of surprised they let that happen, but anyway. So spears, I like a lot, purposely for these enemies. Because their heads fall away and you need to get rid of the heads, like, immediately, spears are a really great way to reach and kind of take them out. Sorry, I keep forgetting that I only have one stamina wheel. I'm so used to being able to run way longer. So not all of the rocks are Koroks, obviously. There is... Okay, so this one's gonna wake up. Literally just the most terrifying thing in the game. The, like, scary piano sound really doesn't help. But that's okay, because we don't have to deal with him. Toss that off. And Korok. So yeah, when I first played, this was the first one I found. And I'll show you what I did, like, immediately. Yeah, right? Poor thing. They're okay, though. They're pretty strong buggers. So here I was, right next to the shrine, and I was like, oh, how can I get there? You can literally just climb the walls. So I'll show you what I mean with the spears. Out, out, head, head. The reach is really nice. Steal that shield. And up we go into our second shrine. So this shrine is going to give us our bomb runes, which are honestly infinitely useful. Probably the most used rune in the game. Just because you can use it to take out boxes and enemies without having to waste your weapons. So here we go again. I can't speed up this part, so you just get to watch it. These blue runes really remind me a lot of Skyward Sword. Like the time stones that you would hit with arrows, and then it would bring you into the current or past time depending on the range of the stone. They look a lot alike. So that's really interesting considering that this is set obviously so far in the future, even past Ocarina of Time and possibly Twilight Princess. But Skyward Sword was the very first game. Going by what's in the Hyrule Historian. So there's our bomb room. We have two, as you can see, one that rolls and one that doesn't. They each have their own uses, and later in the game there's puzzles that make use of this mechanic because you can have both active at the same time, which is really nice. There's a big sword we got there.
Yep.
And around we go, up. So I'll show you what I mean by the uses of each one. That one doesn't move, we can put it down, it's not going to go anywhere. Easy peasy. So, as you can see here, you need to make use of the round bomb, so you can put it down, it's going to fall in, it's going to shoot it, and then we trigger the explosion. So we can leave that one for now. We're gonna go to this side and get a shrine. I think the ball here, the one that's flying in between them, is just there to show you that you can also stand on these and be flown around. So there's another piece of amber. Not an amazing gift, but it's something. And here is Jabaj, our second monk. Link is a little more comfortable now, he knows what he's doing. And we won't bother listening to the long one, but basically he talks a lot less than Omanao talks. And he gives us our second spirit orb. So again, if we look at an inventory, there's the 2 spirit orbs and the 3 Korok seeds we have so far. And he says, may the goddess smile upon you. Restores all of our hearts, which is a really nice quality about the shrines in this game. You don't have to use potions or cook any food while you're there, unless you're fighting some really... Unless you're in one of the, test of strength shrines, I guess, but we should be okay with those. The first one I found on my first playthrough scared the crap out of me, and now it'd be like nothing, so... Here we are. As you can see, take out that wall. I don't think we're gonna run through there, though, because that's where the... Actually, yeah, we will. We're gonna go through here, because we're gonna head to the old man's cottage. So this guy's gonna wake up. He's gonna start to target us. We're gonna say, no, thank you, sir. We're gonna get out of here. I guess we can fight the Keese, though. So if you're targeting with Zed, you can take out enemies around you really easily, especially with the spears. Just because of their range. So there is a shrine there. That's actually going to be the last one we go to. It's impossible to reach from this side, but not from the other side. But we're heading over here for good reason. This is where we're going to get our next piece of clothing. And you notice the skeleton bokoblins that come out of the ground, they only come out of the ground at night. And you can sit by the fire, and the game will encourage you to do so until day breaks, just to avoid fighting enemies when you're weaker, but as you saw, they really weren't that tough, so I don't really find it necessary. When I first played, I did, just because I was scared of being out at night, because it always kind of freaks me out. And you'd know that if you ever watched me play Minecraft, which you won't, because I'll never upload Minecraft videos. But, I was terrified of nighttime in Minecraft. So stamella shrooms give you stamina, which is really important later on in the game, but we'll get to that later. So here, we have some spicy peppers we're going to steal from the old man, who is asleep, despite being a ghost. He's also got a diary, which you can read, and it will give you the ingredients, basically, for his spicy meat and seafood fry. But basically all it is spicy meat, a fish, and a spicy pepper. And we'll cook that. And there we go. So it grants low level cold resistance. It is a filling dish made by cooking fresh seafood and meat together. And 5 hearts, which almost seems excessive at this part of the game. So we're gonna sit by the fire until morning, then we can talk to the old man. And he will make us a trade. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Guess I must have been sitting really still. Alright, he's out here chopping wood. Kill some birds. Sorry, birds. Look at his tiny little baby legs. Oh, fancy that. We meet again. What are you doing? Thought this tree here might make for some good firewood, however, getting a tree to fall exactly where you want it to is quite an art. The trick is to turn your hips so that they face where you want the tree to land. I see you found my axe. Why not help me out and give it a few swings? Working up quite a sweat here, but these bones could use a break. So he's like, oh, you already took my axe. Fucking weird thief. So he's gonna leave. He asks us to give it a few swings. So we will. It doesn't hurt to have firewood with us. Basically... Oh shit, I almost killed him. Give it a swing, give it another swing, pick up the wood. So later, when we come back down from this shrine that's up here, we're going to be using one of those trees to make a bridge. And there's some enemies there, but they're nothing. So off we go. There's some more mushrooms here that we're going to grab. Hylian shrooms are really common, but stamellas are a little harder to come by, except for certain parts of the game, so there's nothing wrong with grabbing some here. There's probably a way of cooking so that you can jump right up the cliff here and go to the shrines backwards. But we don't need to do that. So here we go. Making our mushroom skewer here. Doesn't give us much stamina, but that's alright. Oh, there are a few things as delightful as a roaring fire. What are you doing? Body of mine isn't what it used to be. Recovering from a bout of hard work takes a while. If you're hungry, I have an empty pot you can use to cook yourself a meal. So we already cooked something. And we're gonna give it to him. He says, wait, is that? That looks just like my signature dish, spicy meat and seafood fry. But how did you? Well, I suppose that is not important. Can I trouble you to share the recipe? So, spoiler alert. In his diary he says, oh, the spicy meat and seafood fry, I've forgotten what it uses. I know it uses spicy peppers and meat, but what else? Well, the title of the dish is spicy meat and seafood fry. So obviously, it's fish. I guess you could use crabs too, but we haven't found those yet in the game. So here's our warm doublet. Warm pullover, typically worn by mountain folk. Its sturdy fabric and thick gloves are great at retaining body heat. And it gives us cold resistance. You'll be able to resist the bite of colder environments. As for me, I know a great spicy meat and seafood fry recipe, so I can do without that warm doublet. So, there we go. It's not exactly the most flattering piece of clothing, but it does the trick. We'll take out these guys while we're here. Get whatever loot they've got for us. Shield. Take his body parts. I'm gonna break this bow while we can. Take this bow. gonna steal their seared steak. Oops. And see what loot we get here. Throwing spear. So I don't really throw my weapons as much as I probably should in this game. I know you're supposed to throw them if they're close to breaking, but I'm not really about that life, so... Oh, did I kill the bees already? That's good. So, of course, beet honey is nice. You can use it in a variety of ingredients, like honeyed apple or some sweet dessert type of things. So we got 5 bomb arrows here. These are really good to have, especially because we don't have fire arrows yet. So when we end up at enemy camps that have bomb barrels laying around, fire one of those and they just light up like fireworks. And it's a pretty good way to take out a bunch of enemies all at once. So these mushrooms on the cliff you can use to make food with hasty effects. But it's not a bad idea to just grab as many as you possibly can because there's a man later on that will want 55 of them. Which seems like a lot now, but if you pick them up as you go, you really don't have any trouble getting that many mushrooms. So we're right next to the Temple of Time right now. We're just heading up the cliff here. There is another Korok here that we can grab. We may as well grab now before I forget. At least I think it's a Korok. Should know this. That's alright. Probably easier to grab if you've got the paraglider. But that's no problem. This is also a spot to grab high-rolled bass. If you didn't grab any earlier. There's a bunch in this pond. Alright, so there's a, oh, it's not a Korok, it's a rusty broadsword, but still not bad to have. And then there's a wall here that we can bomb. So we're gonna use this one. I'm gonna kind of hide over here, detonate it, and go over and open up this chest. And it's an opal. So one nice thing about your inventory is that it also says what each item sells for, which doesn't matter yet because we don't even have rupees yet. We won't have rupees yet for a little while. But you're gonna want to know later, so you can collect a bunch and then sell them whenever you need to buy something or anything like that. So there's another camp of enemies right here that we can kind of sneak up on. Mess around with. Gonna ruin a lot of our weapons at the same time, but that's okay. They drop their own, so it's not, you know, not like it's not worth it or anything to mess around with them. Torch is also nice to have. Just in general, you end up kind of using them here and there throughout the game. Usually when you need one, there'll be one around. But you never know. And then did they have meat cooking? Yeah, they did. So always grab that seared steak. It's a heart and a half, which doesn't seem like much, but at this point in the game, it's about all you need for most like injuries or anything like that. And there's a ton of spicy peppers here, which you may as well grab because you have no limit to how much you can hold. And then here we go. We're in, I think this is Mount Hylia, if I remember correctly, yeah. So, this is interesting here. You can kind of go all the way around if you want to, or you can do it the fun way and build a bridge. So this can take a couple tries. Basically, you take down these trees, and they fall, and then you wait for them to move, and you jump on them. I think there's a Korok leaf on the raft as well. Shit. One thing you don't want to do is fall in the water, like I'm doing. because you die like almost immediately. And I don't think there's a Korok leaf on that raft. Which means we're really stupid for not grabbing one. So now we have to navigate our way back. Oh, we're doing it here. So, yeah, there we go. I was just moving too fast. So, we're gonna use this Korok leaf to push the raft. Kind of a fun mechanic that they added, and you can end up going pretty fast. Grab this chest here too. Forget what's in here. More amber. So the good stuff is what we're headed for right now, and that is behind the waterfall. We get, I think, some bomb or fire arrows, and a couple weapons that are just really handy. So off we go. You just need to make sure that you're hitting it in the direction you want to go, or else the raft will just kind of take you wherever the water's taking you, which of course is going to be away from the waterfall. You start picking up speed too as well, which is nice. Okay, and the white chuchu jelly, or the icy chuchu jelly, you can use later on too, as part of armor upgrades. So it's not a bad idea to pick it up. So here we go, little treasure cove here. Obviously that bow is a lot nicer than the one we have now. So I'm gonna drop these, pick that up again. In fact, we're gonna drop a couple things here. We don't need the Korok leaf anymore either. There you go. So soldier's broadsword will take us a long ways. Some more arrows and fire arrows. So these work for the bomb barrels I was talking about as well. The bomb arrows obviously have a bigger blast radius, but they are pricey and they're a lot harder to come by than fire arrows in the game in general. So off we go. There's our shrine up there, you can see it glowing. These guys die in one hit, but if you don't back off right away, you get frozen. And it doesn't really like do much, it's just a ton of operating. You have to like sit there and like wait. So that sucks. And of course, if you're traveling in snow, you move a lot slower than when you're not in snow. And later on, you can get these boots that help you move through the snow faster. Up we go. It's a bit of a climb. Later in the game, you'll just be latching onto the rock and flying up there like it's nothing. But not right now. Right now, we have to take the long way because we have like no stamina. And the stamina wheel knows if you're on a steep cliff as opposed to a not steep cliff, and it will deplete respectively, like according to how steep of a cliff you're climbing. Okay, so we got some little avalanches here for literally no reason. I'll show you what some of these barrels do. Oh, or not, maybe I won't, I guess. These guys are just like movie enemies where they fight you one at a time. Makes it really nice and easy. Grab these body parts, grab their seared steak, and off we go. So, just to give you an idea, all of this that's here, kind of in the bottom portion of the map, is the Great Plateau. Over there is the Wasteland Tower for Gerudo. The Gerudo Desert is past there. Rito Village is out kind of in this direction here. Can't actually see Mito right now, but I'm sure she'll be coming around shortly. Hyrule Castle right there in the middle. Death Mountain with the Gorons. Oh, is that? No, okay. Yeah, Death Mountain with the Gorons is right here. Now and again we can see Valridania, even this early in the game. And Zora's Domain, of course, is that way. That's where we'll be heading. First, I think the game is kind of built so that you go to Zora's Domain first. And then when I did my first playthrough, I went to Gerudo Desert second, which is kind of weird because it's kind of opposite the map, but I really wanted to explore new things, and I kind of hate volcanoes in games. I hate deserts in games too, but I found that I really enjoyed the Gerudo Desert in this one. But I think we'll do Gerudo Desert last this time because I think Van and Boris is one of the toughest, and also one of the more interesting divine beasts in the game. One of the only ones I was legitimately frightened of when I first saw it. So here we go, Cryonis Trial. This is going to give us the power to create ice pillars. And we take a look at our runes. There it is. Builds pillars that are, ice pillars that are very stable. These pillars can be used as stepping stones or as obstacles. Use Cryonis on an ice pillar to break it. So you can build them and you can break them. You can build up to 3 at any one point. Any you make after that will destroy the last one you made. And you can also make them be aimed outwards or right underfoot. So there we go. So just an example, if you're gonna break one, you just kind of like... Here we go, yeah, you aim at it again, and then shatter. And it's gone. There we go, we're gonna use that to lift the gate. Ta-da! We have a buddy to fight. Oh, it still wasn't enough. There we go. So these are baby guardians. I'm not sure what use they really have in the lore for this game. When it talks to you later on about them, it doesn't really do much to explain the baby ones, but I'm guessing they're just built as sentries. Or guards of some sort. Either way. So, here we go. We're gonna build a ramp with this. Allows us to move up here. There's the classic Zelda sound. You've solved it. And here's our monk. So this is 3 shrines down, 1 to go before we get the paraglider and we can leave the Great Plateau. Again, they're gonna all have the same spiel. Okay. So that wasn't smart. And I should have known that I can just use Cryonis. Whoops. But I might just wait instead and get the chest after maybe. So we're heading towards the shrine. There's where I died, that's great. And the shrine, I think, yeah, here's the old man's cabin. So it's right here, we can put a little pin there. And we're on our way. It's slow moving in the snow, but I think it's kind of a little more immersive that way because you're like, oh my god, I have to like trudge through all of this. And it really makes the environments a little more believable as opposed to like, oh, this is, you know, white ground instead of brown, which means it's sand instead of snow. Even the sound changes. Your feet in the snow will sound a lot different than your feet in the sand, and I think that's really important. So here we have a perfect example of another Korok. We can see that the circle is broken. We put a rock down, and there he is. Yeah! Hi! Yep. You get to know that sound pretty well. I don't want to think about how well I'll know it once I find 900 of them. I still don't know if I'll actually have the patience to do that, but we'll see. It's not going to be in this playthrough, that's for sure. Unless you guys really want to see it, then maybe, but I have a feeling that would just be like the most boring Let's Play in the world. Okay. Whoops. Okay, we're just about there. A little bit of shield switching here. And he's gonna try to fight me. We're gonna kill him. Enough said. We're just about at the shrine now. So there's an enemy camp down there, but it kind of takes some time to get to, so I'm gonna skip it for now. It's just not really like that necessary. And our shrine is just up here, just down the cliff. You really have to be careful when you're coming down here, because we don't have all the stamina wheels. Oh, good God. Okay. As I say, you have to be careful. I'll just throw myself off the cliff. Oof. But it's a little more, oh my god, we have to change. Okay. It's a little more for like when you're leaving this shrine and going down this cliff next to me. It's a much longer drop, as you can see. And you have to kind of use these little ledges to get all the way down. It's a pain in the ass, to be honest. But we'll get to that later. So here we are, last shrine of the Great Plateau. So this shrine gives us the rune Stasis, which allows us to freeze items in place. Probably the least used shrine, or least used rune, but one of the more fun ones to use all throughout the map in the game. But it's not our last rune. We have one more to get later on. As you can see, there's still a blank space. So it stops an object in time while storing its kinetic energy. The stored energy will act upon the object when the flow of time resumes. Making good use of the stored energy can move even the largest of objects. So, that's kind of fun. Here we go. Highlights as green, meaning we can use it. And then there's kind of like a time limit. So this doesn't have any stored energy, clearly. If we were to hit it, you'd see that it would. And then it might move faster, or something like that. Who knows? So these are like these balls that fall down. I haven't been able to like, yeah, there we go. So we grabbed it, and then we're gonna switch to something a little bigger and hit it the other way. Let's see how this works. There we go. Did the trick, eh? So it's just gonna kind of roll around there for now while we get the chest. New shield. Oh. Inventory is full, so I'll drop this one. It's almost broken anyway. There we go. So there's the ball. It stopped. Looks like it's gonna fall off the edge there. There it goes. That's fine. And then a new one will drop. So, stop it. Hit it a few times. You can hit it more, but you don't really have to. Not for here, anyway. It's gonna land right there. Hopefully it can't mess with the monk. That's a good thing. Same old spiel. We get our 4th spirit orb, which is great. We can go pray to the spirit Hylia and get either some more stamina or another heart. And for now, we're going to go with the stamina. We'll probably alternate now and again because we're going to need at least 13 hearts for a certain something a little later. And it's also just kind of nice to have the extra hearts, so that you're not like one-shot killed by some of the tougher enemies in the game. Because that's definitely a thing that we are going to start running into now that we've passed the tutorial sort of area. Okay, extraordinary. That means it is finally time. Link, it's finally time for me to tell you everything. But first, imagine an X on your map with the 4 shrines as the endpoints. Find the spot where those lines intersect. I shall wait for you there. Do you understand? Where the 2 lines connecting the shrines would cross. There, I will be waiting. And he disappears. Like the ghost he really is. So we're gonna practice our stamina, sorry, our stasis on this big boulder right here. Launch it off to, I think that's the Tory Mountain over there. Or maybe it's not. Off it goes. We get to open the chest. Another traveler's bow, even though we're pretty full up on bows, we can drop this one instead. There we go. And now we get to do this hell climb here, which I just really hate this part. I don't remember actually doing this when I first played. I don't remember going down here at all. I'm sure I did, unless I went back along the mountain, which actually I might have done. But you really have to be careful as to when you let go, when you jump. Because if you let go, like if I let go here, I might just miss it completely. And it's just like you die right away when you hit the ground and you have to restart from the top, which is honestly just not fun at all. So we're gonna grab these rushrooms as we go, which apparently are larger than Link, and yet he can easily put them in his pack. He doesn't even have one, but whatever. Those are the bokoblins down there, yelling away. Go, attach to the wall again. Stamina come back. Take the rushroom. So even if I dropped from here, I might die. And that is just the most frustrating thing ever, because then you have to do this whole stupid long climb all over again. It is honestly like the worst. So we'll just take these guys out. Whoops. Right now while we can. Oh, they're a little stronger than the other ones. I know I'm here, so they're probably gonna try to throw rocks at me. Yeah, he had a rock ready to go. Oh, that's funny. But we don't have to worry about him. Okay, now we can drop. There we go. One of them fell all the way down. We can't follow him that way, of course, because we haven't actually gotten the paraglider yet. So here we go. We're gonna make our bridge here. Ta-da! Now, if you're worried, you can use stasis on these, but they stay in place pretty well. So, where the 2 lines intersect on the map is actually the Temple of Time. And we will find him at the top in the front. That's where the chest I was talking about earlier is. The enemies here will not respawn as you kill them. Not yet. Trees will respawn after you cut them down. And boars and other animals like squirrels and birds and stuff will kind of respawn with the night, I think. Sometimes they spawn in areas and sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's a boar like right outside where Link wakes up. Of course you can't really kill it yet unless you're really fast, so. I haven't tried shooting at like hawks or the birds that kind of fly around yet. I'm sure you can, but I feel like their meat would just fall like so far away, so why bother? Alright, here we are. So first things first, We've got the goddess Hylia here, all shiny and new. We're gonna talk to her. You who have conquered the shrines and claimed their spirit orbs, I can offer you great power. It appears you have claimed 4 spirit orbs. In exchange for 4 spirit orbs, I will amplify your being, so tell me what it is that you desire. And we want a stamina vessel. You wish to expand your stamina wheel, yes? Yes. I shall grant you the power you seek. So our 4 spirit orbs disappear. We get a stamina vessel, and it gives us, I think, a 5th of a new stamina wheel. Yeah, something like that. I think it's a 5th. She says, go and bring peace to Hyrule. So
Oh!
she knows. Now we get the old man. He's yelling at us, because he's way up at the top. The blessing of the goddess has made you that much more resilient, I see. Here I am. Get up here. Quickly. Him and his mysterious blue flames. So thankfully we don't have to try to scale the walls here and mess up the stamina. There is a ladder. And you use stamina when you're jumping up a ladder, but if you're just climbing it regularly, you don't. Which is nice, but also, like, you'd think it would. Just a little bit. Okay, up we go. And here he is.
Well done there, young one. Now then, the time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule. A kingdom which no longer exists. The Great Calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form. I did not think it wise to overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago. To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age-long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation in the form of legends and fairy tales. But there was also a prophecy. The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land. It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a princess with a sacred power, and her appointed knight, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power, and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon. But nay. Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining. He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the Divine Beasts, and turned them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in the castle as well. The appointed knight, gravely wounded, collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
That princess was my own daughter, my dear Zelda. And the courageous knight who protected her right up to the very end. That knight was none other than you, Link. You fought valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then, you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering that I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you, Link. But I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko Village. There you will find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko Village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north.
Go on. Here is the paraglider, just as I promised. An item that you received from the king on the Great Plateau. It allows you to sail through the sky. So now we can leave without dying, which is definitely a plus. With that, you should be able to safely fly off the cliffs surrounding this area. And I think that's it. I've told you everything I can. Link, you must save Hyrule. And then the guy just disappears. He's like, I'm out of here. So, here's the chest. We have what's at the top. We have a new main quest as well, which is simply destroy Ganon. But first we're going to seek out Impa. It doesn't make any sense to go straight to Ganon right away because we would just die, like, immediately. So, like, why bother? So, first things first, off to Dueling Peaks. We can now sail around, and we can kind of steer and go further back, further forward. It does take stamina, so you cannot glide forever. However, even if you had 3 stamina wheels, I'm not sure that there's any point in the game where you could glide and actually use all of it up. Just like by the time you actually land somewhere, it doesn't take that long, so. Okay, here we go. So those are the Dueling Peaks. That's where we're headed, obviously. So where we're gonna go down is about right here. There's the road that goes on through, and we find a couple shrines on the way. So down we go, there's the castle. We'll just stop right here in the grass. And there we are, Hyrule Kingdom. So, we're gonna try scanning this amiibo and see what we find. So basically what you do is you can see that little circle, that's where our stuff is gonna fall. Scanned it, and as most people mentioned, Epona is the first thing we find. She's not registered, so the first thing we gotta do is take her to a stable. Epona is a great horse. I think she has... Whoops. Well, she has 4 stamina, clearly, as you can see. And I think she has 4 for speed as well, but I can't actually remember. Either way, she's a pretty good ride. She also comes completely bonded to you. Oh my god. Okay, that scared me. You can also fight on horseback, but we're not gonna do that. We'll fight things later. We're gonna get her to the stable first thing because I do not want her to die before we get there, basically. So here's Proxim Bridge. There's a guy you can talk to here. He's all freaked out about that guardian. Oh shit. I actually have to go the other way. I made a wrong turn. And we should do that shrine while we're here anyway. Surprisingly easy to miss. But I think that's going to be all we do for this game. If we leave Epona here, she's not going to disappear while we're in the shrine. Aw, she's so cute. Look at her. You can feed her apples if you have any. I don't think I have any. I wonder if she'll eat a mushroom. Oh, she's not interested in the mushroom. Alright guys, that's it for my first playthrough here. I think she's gonna stay and wait for us. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining. And let me know any comments, any critique, anything like that. If I need to adjust my audio, let me know and I'll really appreciate it.